The big hit that was all about being rejected by his future wife a few times and frustration and romanticism and a lot more. It's one of the most memorable hits of the 70s on Rock History Music. I'm John Bowden, and you couldn't be anywhere in the mid-70s and not hear Moonlight Feels Right. There was a marimba solo in a big hit. How can that happen? Bo Wagner did that. He's no longer with us. May he rest in peace. But our special guest is Bruce Blackman, explaining, well, there's a lot that goes behind a hit. And it wasn't their only hit. I liked another one they had called I Got to Know just as much. It was just that Moonlight Feels Right album just stuck with me throughout the years. I like good pop music, and it's now the band Starbuck considered to be sort of a yacht rock band, though I don't see that, but good for them. Bruce Blackman on being rejected by his future wife and creating one of the most, as I mentioned, memorable hits of the 70s. Moonlight Feels Right on Rock History Music. So you wrote that for your wife?
I did. It was actually a true story about meeting my wife in college. I've seen a lot of things on the internet. In fact, just recently, a woman attacked me. She said, "I can't believe you wrote a song about date rape." And I said, "Lady, date rape, that term didn't even exist when I wrote that song. The song is a romantic fantasy about meeting my wife when I was in college. And I'd asked her out twice, and she said no. And the third time, we were coming back from a pep rally at the stadium, and the wind was blowing. And I walked up beside her, and I asked her out, and she said yes. So fast forward 6 years, and I'm sitting on the floor of my apartment with my mini mode playing da 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 da, and the phrase "Moonlight Feels Right" popped in my head, and I thought of asking her out for the third time when the wind was blowing, and I went, "The wind blew some luck in my direction. I caught it in my hands today." I looked up at the TV and the sound was off, but I saw Gene Hackman, and the movie was The French Connection, and I went, "I finally made a tricky French connection. You winked and gave me you're okay." To me, that connection was, it was difficult for me to get a date with this girl, as it was difficult for Gene Hackman to make the French Connection in the movie. And the rest of the song is just simply a feel-good romantic fantasy about us dating. One night we went out to a lake, and I had an old ragged-out MGB convertible. We went out to a lake in Mississippi, put the top down, dropped the top. The moon was reflecting off of the water on the lake, and so I was just writing that image. And I originally wrote, "We'll drop the top at Charleston Bay." I looked on the map and there was no Charleston. So I called my friend John Keating, who is a doctor, the smartest person I've ever known. And I said, "Man, I need the name of a bay, preferably on a large city." And he said, "You idiot, Chesapeake, Baltimore." And I went, "Thank you."
That is great. It's weird how some people get the wrong ideas of songs, right? I mean, we live in a world of conspiracy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. I like when people say, "I only have one conspiracy." No, they come in packs. You don't only have one. Yeah. But like the Twin Towers, talking to John Helliwell of Supertramp, and Breakfast in America, it has what looks like the Twin Towers, right? They're remaking it out of food. And everyone said, "Well, Supertramp, it was a conspiracy for 9/11. I'm going, come on. It's an album cover from 1979. There's nothing complicated about
it. Please. Yeah, I get a lot of comments about it was a sleazy old guy in the song trying to pick up a young girl. I went, no, it wasn't. It wasn't that at all. It wasn't anybody trying to pick up anyone. It was just about meeting a girl. And they always say that's why he laughed at the end of the first verse. Well, we recorded at the famous Studio One in Doraville, the home of Atlanta Rhythm Section and Leonard Skinner. And our session for Moonlight Feels Right was from 9 till 12. And Leonard Skinner was coming in right behind us. So it was like a quarter till 12, we'd gotten the tracks done. And engineer said, "Man, Bill Lowry, our publisher, is going to be mad. He wanted this song finished. And you hadn't done vocals." He said, "You can't use the vocal booth because the band is tearing down." And I said, "Why don't you just plug me straight into the board and I'll sing it?" And he said, "Well, nobody's ever done that." And I said, "Well, they have now." So he plugged me into the board, hit record. I had a Shure 57 mic in between my legs and put on headphones. Well, one side of the headphones wasn't working and the other side was real staticky. But I kept going, and it sounded so bad to me at the end of the first verse, I chuckled. at myself. Well, when the record company heard that, they liked the laugh so much, they made me go back in and dub in a chuckle at the end of the second and third verse. So that nothing sleazy, just laughing at myself because the blasted headphones didn't work.
Bo Wagner, one take, huh?
Oh, we did when we recorded, just as an afterthought, we had the song was verse, chorus, three verses, three choruses. I said, let's just do an extra verse and chorus, see what we can do with it. So we recorded an extra verse and chorus. I went out and did a B3 solo. It didn't sound right. I did a clavinet solo. And Bo said, well, let me try my marimba. So we mic'd up his marimba, used 5 mics, 2 on the bottom, 3 on the top to get that full range. And we hit record, and Bo played that solo, one take improv, exactly the way you heard it. And when it finished, it was dead silence in the control room. It was awesome. And then Bo looked, you could hear his voice, and he said, was that okay? And I said, yeah, that was okay, Bo. Come on in.
Mallet players rejoice around the world.
Oh my goodness! What used to blow me away is Bo could play. He would play a grand piano with these 2 fingers, his index fingers, as mallets, and he could play anything. He played just like you see him play the marimba, but he could do that with 2 fingers on a piano. I'm sorry we never filmed that, because that was really something to see.
Moonlight Feels Right made it to number 3. Was it Elton John that really kept you out of number 1?
It was Don't Go Breaking My Heart, Elton John and Kiki D, and Afternoon Delight. Funny story, we were in LA doing bandstand, and we were staying at the Riot House, the Gene Autry Continental. And someone told me there was a pool upstairs. So I walked upstairs, opened the door. It said do not enter, but I opened it anyway and walked right in between Elton and Kiki. They were facing each other going, don't go breaking my heart. I walked right between them. And Elton would he went nuts. He went, I didn't mean to do it, but anyway, he copped number 1 and we didn't.
Remember, make sure you subscribe to our channel, join our Patreon, get early access to our videos. You can make a donation to the channel. There's a link in the very top of the description. Buy a t-shirt, spread the word. I'm John Bowden from Rocky Street Music.